What do you mean you don't have a boyfriend? You're so pretty. What do you mean you have 0 men in your phone? What do you mean you've gone 8 months without... What do you mean? That makes no sense. Yeah, well, combine pretty with intelligent, strong, successful, slaying at life, you've got a very terrifying woman on your hands. A very, not easy woman on your hands, right?
Got it. So you're a bitch. See how easy that was? Because I feel like I wouldn't describe myself as slaying at life if I was filming videos in my car talking about how lonely I am because no one wants to put up with me.
Men do not like me. Men are very, very terrified of me. And the men who do like me, the ones that are attracted to me, are unavailable and uggo weirdos. Because at the end of the day, I am merely just a fantasy because of the pretty and scary. So yes, babe, I'm alone. I'm very, 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 very single.
Holy shit, that was Cope. Now, she was mean and conceited in that video, but I actually kind of feel bad for her because she has a way of viewing the world that's either going to keep her single or involve her in numerous toxic relationships until she figures out her problem in her mid to late 30s, if she figures it out. And well, actually, I'm not that sad about it because I'm also a big fan of watching people get what they deserve. However, she is using a lot of pre-programmed phrasing like "I'm so intimidating," so it's hard for me to say how much of this personality she's developed is her fault, especially with stuff like this.
If you look through the self-help section in the bookstore and you look at books targeted toward men versus targeted toward women, the message is very different. A lot of like the male self-help books are like a lot of stoic stuff, like, you need to learn how to become more focused or more disciplined, a lot of self-sufficiency kind of stuff. Whereas the self-help targeted toward women, it's not, you're nothing right now, but if you work really hard, maybe you can turn yourself into something with effort. It's more so, you're already great as you are, but the problem is that you just keep beating yourself up and that the world just hasn't recognized how great you are because you keep holding yourself back mentally from accepting that you're great.
Right, so what you're describing here is narcissism. These books are taking women who are in search of help and teaching them to be narcissists. It's like corporatized fantasy fulfillment for money in the self-help department. Because one person who is struggling doesn't want to hear that they're already great and actually they don't have to do any work to make their lives better. I find it kind of predatory and messed up that so many companies have figured out that you can make tons of money selling people stuff that they think is working but doesn't actually work. And speaking of that, this transitions well into this video's sponsor. Recently, a jury ordered Meta and YouTube to pay millions for their role in designing and promoting addictive platforms. They knew their apps could contribute to anxiety, depression, and body image issues, but did not share those risks while prioritizing profits. If you or your child spent years growing up on social media and experienced serious mental health struggles, you should hear this. Morgan & Morgan is stepping up to hold these platforms accountable for the harm they caused. You can use the link in my description or scan the QR code to take a short quiz to see if you qualify for a case. Alright, so a bunch of corporatized and fake self-help for women is why you have so many people who are like this.
So I would say about 83% of the people on this airplane are teenagers in a theater group. Not a single one of them recognized me, and I could not tolerate that, obviously.
I have no idea who this is. Was I supposed to recognize her? I've been in this content creator industry for a while now, and I have yet to meet someone who goes outside hoping people will know who they are. But when it comes to men's self-improvement, there are some bad eggs out there, but for the most part, you can trust that you're going to get something that will lead you into the right direction. If you work hard, you self-reflect, and you discipline yourself to not fall into your bad habits. However, more often than not, and you'll probably see this if you watch a lot of my videos, but more often than not, I see girls on TikTok or books that just give women the worst advice possible. It's really just this corporatized bullshit that's more about figuring out a message that gets you follows or will cause customers to give you money than it is about saying something that will actually help these people improve their lives.
Every airport ever has it. These are books that will blow your brain up. It's just meditation. How to be a fucking unicorn. The subtle art of not giving a fuck. Yo, that's it right there. I promise you, if you read this book, you'll be worse off afterwards. More than 10 million copies sold. The formula is you put something together that's inoffensive, but it seems offensive. It's just like corporatized virality.
I bet there are a lot of girls that came across this book and they're like, it like found me.
Yeah.
And they thought it was a sign.
Wait, I've read that book. He's right, though. It wasn't that useful. And yeah, it speaks to you because the people who seek out self-help content tend to have like the same 5 different personality profiles, and marketers have memorized what those are. I'm not kidding when I say that these personality profiles are well known, as well as how to fix these people's problems. This shit isn't a mystery. In fact, the solutions tend to be very simple. But what is also well known is how to exploit these types of people and how to print money off of them. There's literally a book on it called The 48 Laws of Power, and the basic strategy is that as a self-help specialist, you know that the real answer to like 90% of people's problems is to stop being so lazy and put some hard work in over an extended period of time. However, because so many people want to take the easy way out, you can actually exploit this by telling everyone that you have some sort of secret answer to all the universe's questions that will make everything easy for them, which is a great strategy because not only will these people give you a lot of money initially, but also this kind of advice will make them more mentally ill and cause them to regularly need your services, which is why you see tons of bullshit like this on TikTok.
You're gonna listen to what I'm about to say because this is gonna change your fucking life. Ever since I started to do this, shit started flying at my face. Ever since I can remember, I have always made it a point to tell everyone I am so lucky. I just always expect great things to happen to me, and so they do. And like if it doesn't go the exact way that I want it to go, then something better comes up after it. I'm constantly saying great things are always happening to me unexpectedly. I say this like on a regular basis. I'm like, oh my God, great things are always happening to me unexpectedly. And I believe it when I say it, so I think that also plays a huge role. Try being delusional for a month and tell me if your life doesn't change.
Right, I like how you can just go on the internet, say a bunch of shit with no verifiable proof that any of it happened, and tons of people who don't know the scientific definition of a law will glaze you like crazy. Well, if they aren't bots. And I mean, this isn't the most honest way of doing things, but I'm sure making shit up is a great way to sell a book about manifestation that no one would have bought otherwise. Though, at least she's not one of those people who is telling her followers that she can control the weather.
Rain dances, do they work? Well, I tried it myself. So a couple nights ago, it was sleeting so hard. So I got up, I started walking around, dancing, and I was saying, calm and soothe the storm, calm and soothe the storm. And I was just imagining the energy of the storm, just calming and slowing, calming and slowing. And I kid you not, within a minute, it slowed down and completely stopped. Could be a coincidence, but I don't think so.
I mean, I wouldn't even say it's a coincidence, I just think you're lying. There are many obvious ways to try and prove your claims here, like filming yourself making the rain stop multiple times. But of course, all we have is a personal anecdote of a person saying, yeah, this crazy thing that is obviously not true totally works. Though you might be asking, where did all this nonsense about manifestations and affirmations come from? Well, the history might be deeper than this, but certainly I think what popularized this type of content in the modern day is one of the greatest self-help scams to ever exist, called The Secret.
All right, it is called The Secret, a little movie that's sweeping the country one DVD at a time. People who see it say it'll change their lives for the better forever. And Amanda John visits a local place where people are learning exactly what The Secret is.
Judging by the potato quality of that news report, I'm sure you guys can guess that this is old. The Secret is a book and a DVD that came out in the 2000s, and I cannot tell you the levels of how many people would not shut up about this crap during that time period, as well as stuff like this from the DVD.
And in 1995, I started to create something called a vision board, where I take something that I would want to achieve or something that I want to attract, like a car or a watch or the soulmate of my dreams, and I'd put a picture of what I wanted up on this board called the vision board. And every day I would sit in my office and I would look up at this board and I would start to visualize. I would really get into the state of having already acquired it.
Okay, so instantly, if you know anything about marketing, then you know that this DVD is designed to prey on women's psychology. I can imagine that creating collages and calling that a vision board really sold to women who are mentally ill and seeking actual help, instead of predatory spiritual bullshit that includes such experts as a visionary or a philosopher or a quantum physicist, because that sounds like a smart person's job, and they're all here to talk about the law of attraction.
Thoughts become things.
What most people don't understand is a thought has a frequency. Every thought has a frequency. We can measure a thought. And so if you're thinking that thought over and over and over again, or if you're imagining in your mind, okay, having that brand new car, having the money that you need, building that company, finding your soulmate, if you imagine what that looks like, you're emitting that frequency on a consistent basis.
See yourself living in abundance, and you will attract it.
It always works. It works every time with every person.
If you pay attention here, you can see the fundamental trick that's going on, which is that people in this self-help DVD have taken something that is partially true and corrupted it to make money, and then said a bunch of smart words to make it sound official.
And you do that through neuroplasticity and building the pathway, giving yourself the examples.
Neuroplasticity, that sounds scientific, right? Okay, she must read a lot of research, so I'll believe everything she says. Anyway, great lies always have some sort of truth to them, and what I mean by that is that this DVD of The Secret is selling the law of attraction, and though it's not actually a law, scientifically speaking, it is a true idea psychologically. It's just, I think, therefore I am, and that is a correct idea. Your thoughts do create your reality, but where the lie is in all of this law of attraction manifestation bullshit is the strong suggestion that you can just think you will be successful, do nothing, and the success will just come to you. That's called delusion, and one of the most manipulative moments in the DVD to make people believe in this is right here.
Now, if you don't understand it, doesn't mean you should reject it. You don't understand electricity, probably. First of all, no one even knows what electricity is, and yet you enjoy the benefits of it. Do you know how it works?
Yes, I do know how electricity works. See what I mean when I say that this DVD was targeted at women who, thanks to feminists, we know don't have a strong interest in STEM fields.
I don't know how it works, but I do know this, that you can cook a man's dinner with electricity, and you can also cook the man.
Again, the target audience is obviously women. Try to sell that last line in the modern day. Though, along with manipulative moments like this, and keeping in mind that I do agree that your thoughts create your reality, that is very true. However, the problem with things like The Secret is that they specifically remove the nuances of how to get good opportunities so that their advice won't work and you'll keep buying their update courses on how you just aren't manifesting hard enough. So to bring this back to reality and back to things that work, the actual purpose of managing your thoughts, or I think therefore I am, is not to attract certain things to you. It is instead a note to stop getting in your own way, because what actually stops you from achieving your goals is anxiety and thinking that you can't achieve a nice life with a stable family and community that enjoys you being around. In fact, one of my biggest issues with The Secret is that it preaches psychology that will give you more anxiety.
The law of attraction is always working. Whether you believe it or understand it or not, it's always working.
Anytime your thoughts are flowing, the law of attraction is operational.
Every time an individual has a thought, they're in the creation process. Something is going to manifest out of those thoughts.
Law of attraction says, we'll give you whatever it is you say and focus on. And so if you're complaining about how bad it is, what you're creating is more of how bad it is.
I know enough about mental health to know that this line of thinking will either cause OCD or heavily worsen the mental state of people who have OCD and anxiety issues. Nothing's going to trigger them more than telling them that every small negative thought they have is putting them on a bad timeline or whatever. In fact, this line of argumentation makes me think that a part of their target audience that they are preying on is women with anxiety issues, and by the way, for what benefit? The vast majority of the markers of success in The Secret are material bullshit that will never make you happy.
So the law of attraction, the study and practice of the law of attraction is just figuring out what will help you generate the feelings of having it now. Go test drive that car. Go shop for that home. Get in the house. Do whatever you have to do to generate the feelings of having it now and remember them. Whatever you can do to do that will help you to literally attract it.
Who cares? 95% of this DVD is about material possessions, particularly expensive ones, and none of these things are actually fulfilling. This money-focused ideology is poison. Success in life is building a family and a good community. Success in business is figuring out how to make money providing good products that your customers appreciate. Success is not a Ferrari and a $5 million mansion. If you constantly measure your success by what material possessions you have, then you will always be unhappy. Someone will always have a more expensive car or a better designer handbag. I think these scammers know that, and they're getting you to focus on material wealth because it will make you more of a sucker who needs their product. If you keep engaging in these unfulfilling measures of success, you're just going to end up old and miserable. And the great trick of The Secret here is that they give you these ridiculous financial goals that they know statistically 99% of their audience will never achieve. So even if someone does win with The Secret, they will still have a vast pool of miserable losers to prey on. Real success is building community, and it doesn't take millions of dollars or expensive cars to do that. And really the poison here is that if you're going to make someone unnecessarily greedy, then you could at least give them some useful strategies for building themselves up. But instead, it's just nonsense.
Our job is not to figure out the how. The how will show up out of the commitment and the belief in the what.
The hows are the domain of the universe. It always knows the shortest, quickest, fastest, most harmonious way between you and your dream.
If you turn it over to the universe, you will be surprised and dazzled by what is delivered to you. This is where magic and miracles happen.
Right. Basically, just sit right there and success will come to you. That's not how shit works, but again, as I said, this ideology is sort of true. Luck often breeds success, but what's omitted here is that everyone gets lucky opportunities, and the ones who are able to capitalize on them are the people who are paying attention, and only the people who have built themselves up to be valuable enough to deserve the opportunity are the ones who will get it. No one's ever going to give you the chance if you haven't done the years of required prep work first. This is why I say that The Secret is full of shit when it doesn't tell you this. Also remember that The Secret is the core behind all the bullshit that you see on TikTok today. And not only are they telling you that you can be successful by doing nothing but saying affirmations in the mirror, not only are they really enabling people's OCD, but also they're teaching you to be a narcissist that no one will want to be around.
Or you have the belief that everything goes right for me. Or you have the belief that I'm not getting older, I'm getting younger. We can create it the way we want it by using the law of attraction.
Are there any limits to this? Absolutely not. We are unlimited beings. We have no ceiling. The capabilities and the talents and the gifts and the power that is within every single individual on this planet is unlimited.
The Secret adds this important twist. Your thoughts can bring anything into your life because you are a god. This is from a review of The Secret. Can you see why narcissists like the wizard Liz always pick up this manifestation ideology? It seems to be meant to cater to people with narcissistic personality disorder, BPD, and OCD, and if you think these hyper-successful marketing employees don't know their target audiences, then I would suggest that you look at all the seminars on YouTube about how to make a mobile game successful by preying on each customer's personality archetype. And really, one of the primary promoters of The Secret and this whole manifestation, law of attraction bullshit was Oprah. Is Oprah still famous? Whether she is or not, I cannot understate how popular she was as a woman's talk show host back in the 2000s when The Secret came out. Honestly, I see Oprah and these kinds of talk shows as like the metaphor of the devil from Paradise Lost. And what I mean by that is that these people pretend to help while they actually harm you or stab you in the back. This is what I see as genuinely evil because it's very effective. The metaphor from Paradise Lost is that the devil realizes that he can't defeat God in combat, so he decides to corrupt his creation by turning into a snake and pretending to be Eve's friend so he can trick her into eating the apple. Wait, why does he trick the woman? Was that part important?
But Oprah sold it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors in getting better and succeeding at things.
Yeah.
And they boiled it down to the easiest one, which is dreaming.
Right. She's a scammer who's tricking her audience into believing that she's helping them, when what she's actually doing is making them more mentally ill and dependent on her advice. And her fans ate this shit up.
Oprah, you're on my vision board for 2018.
Really?
And I am here, so I have manifested this moment.
Congratulations.
That's great. So I am here. It is an honor.
Clearly an effective use of a vision board, collaging at its finest. Oh geez, that movie did not do well at all. No wonder I've never heard of it.
I want to run a marathon.
You do?
I want to before
I support you in that. But I don't vision board anymore because I am a powerful manifester. And I know that, and I know how to do it without physically putting it on a board. You want to know how to do it?
Absolutely.
You have to meet the vibration. You can't be above or below it. It's just what I was talking about, negative energy, positive energy. In order to draw the thing to you that you want to come, you can't want it so much that you fear that you won't get it. You have to want it. So in order for me to be on your vision board, you must have put it there and then you let it go.
Yes.
And then you weren't thinking about it every day. Because it doesn't come to you that way.
Got it. She's a high-level mage now, so she doesn't need material components like a vision board anymore. I gotta say, though, that was some pretty effective bullshit language, but if you want to know the strongest scientific peer-reviewed evidence that manifestation and the law of attraction don't work, then listen to this. Oprah, for many years, has been trying to lose weight, yet after all this time, she's still fat. No one noticed that? Her wanting to lose weight has to be like the #1 thing that she's known for. Maybe she's been manifesting too many cheeseburgers. Maybe she still does need that vision board. Now, personally, when it comes to ways of thinking that actually work and actually lead to success, I think this one is particularly helpful, especially when it comes to achieving very difficult long-term goals. And no, that doesn't have to be a $5 million home. I think goals like that are largely retarded. A goal shouldn't be owning an expensive home. An expensive home should just be the result of providing lots of value to society, instead of it being the product of you being really good at scamming people like it is for most of these losers. I mean, you really think that this shit wasn't a scam?
Remove physiological stress from the body, and the body does what it was designed to do. It heals itself.
I've seen kidneys regenerated. I've seen cancer dissolved. I've seen eyesight improve and come back.
I always say that incurable means curable from within.
You can change your life and you can heal yourself.
Notice how they have the visionary say the dumb stuff and not the doctor. He's like, I'm not risking my license on this bullshit. Did they not get sued for telling people that you could cure cancer by making a vision board and saying affirmations in the mirror? How many people stopped treatment because of these assholes? Anyway, as for achieving long-term goals, even when it comes to building a good community, building a financially stable lifestyle, and creating a family that likes and appreciates you, that stuff is really difficult. And little spoiler, tons of these rich and successful people that you take advice from have not figured that stuff out. In fact, lots of them have incredibly toxic relationships and are hated by the people who know them personally. So when it comes to achieving really difficult goals, I find the most helpful mentality that keeps you on track and prevents you from quitting is to see your goal as a foregone conclusion. You're going to achieve it no matter what. This is not delusion. This is saying, I'm going to put in the necessary work to get what I want, and I'll achieve it when I achieve it. And the reason for this mentality is because people often hoist unrealistic and overly optimistic expectations upon themselves because they don't know that much about what they're trying to get. And so they'll say, I'm going to achieve this in 3 months. And then when 3 months goes by and they don't succeed, their optimism goes away and so they quit. Sometimes stuff like becoming fluent in a language actually takes more like 3 years or more. And what will actually make you successful on these occasions is saying, okay, 3 months has passed and I'm still not there, but I'm going to keep going because this is my goal and I'm going to succeed even if I fail initially. I think you'll find that when people achieve ridiculous things, that is their mindset. Anyway, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter and I'll see you in the next video.